Hello sports fans, it is Tuesday, March the 26th, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Before we get to our NHL Weekly State of the Union, let's go through some scores of note from last night. Let's start in the NBA where the Miami Heat do it again. The Miami Heat have now won 27 games in a row. They go to Orlando and beat the Magic last night. They do it without Dwayne Wade. Miami looks unstoppable right now. 27 games in a row. They were the best team last year. They're the best team this year. They have the best player in LeBron James. Throw in a little Bosh, a little Wade, a little Allen, and you're going to have back-to-back championships this year. In the NBA, the best team usually wins. It's not like hockey where there's a lot of upsets or football or baseball. In the NBA, the best team usually wins. Unless Miami gets hit with a catastrophic injury here, they are going to win the title. They are the best team. They play the best defense. Miami on an absolute roll. Cannot be stopped. When's the last time Miami lost a game? 27 in a row. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what sport it is. You win 27 in a row. That's something to be proud of. What a great job by the Miami Heat continuing this winning streak. So Miami gets the job done last night, 27 in a row. Another winning streak came to an end last night. Denver's 15-game winning streak ended in New Orleans last night. New Orleans just blasted Denver. New Orleans actually is playing a little better ball. Denver's still a little shaky on the road. Great home team, Denver. Still a little shaky on the road. I mean, I love them at home. Little shaky on the road. So Denver's winning streak ends last night. Also last night, Indiana at home beats Atlanta. Very important win for Indiana. They are battling the Knicks for the 2 seed. That is very important because if the Knicks and Pacers should meet in the second round, home court could determine it. So right now, Knicks and Pacers fighting for that 2 seed. Very important. Also last night, Utah beat Philadelphia in Utah. Utah actually won a game. I mean, I know they beat Philadelphia. That's not much to write home about. But for Utah, I mean, any win is good at this point. They couldn't beat anyone. Utah wins, and then the Lakers lose at Golden State. So Utah and Dallas only a game behind the Lakers for that 8th seed. So Utah and Dallas still alive. Now, I still think the Lakers are going to make it. I still think the Lakers hang on to the 8th seed. I have no faith in Utah playing good the rest of the way. I have very little faith in Dallas as well. But the Lakers are letting them hang around. The Lakers have now lost a couple games in a row. Lakers letting these teams hang around. Dallas and Utah only a game back, so we'll keep an eye on that. Over to your NHL last night. Boston at home beat Toronto. Ottawa at home beat New Jersey. How about Ottawa? All these injuries and all they do is win. How good is their goaltending this year? Tremendous. LA went into Chicago and beat the Blackhawks. LA's playing a lot better. Detroit beat Phoenix. Detroit is starting to cook. Detroit's starting to get on fire a little bit. Beat Anaheim twice over the weekend. Now they beat Phoenix. Detroit's cooking. San Jose also went into Anaheim and beat the Ducks. Anaheim's on a little bit of a slump here. You had to expect it. Anaheim was flying for so long. You had to figure they were going to hit a slump sometime. They look like they're in a slump right now. San Jose beats Anaheim last night. As we know, the NCAA tournament has a few days off, so no games last night. There were a few NIT games if you get into the NIT. Providence at home beat Robert Morris. BYU at home beat Mercer. And Southern Miss at home beat Louisiana Tech. I noticed in the NIT, most of the home teams usually win. When you're home in the NIT, you have a really big advantage. So those were kind of some of your scores last night. Also from college basketball, I was a little surprised. Minnesota fired Tubby Smith. I was surprised about that. Tubby Smith, who won a national title at Kentucky. We know he can coach. Minnesota was 21-13 this year. Made the tournament. Won a first-round game, lost in the second round. Tubby Smith had just gotten an extension in July for 3 years, and they fired him. A little surprised about that. The Big Ten was loaded this year. Very tough conference. I don't know what Minnesota's expectations are. I mean, how good do they think they can be? I mean, they have to compete with Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Michigan State. A lot of heavyweights. I thought Minnesota hung in there this year, and they did win a first-round NCAA tournament game. Now, rumors are, you know, Minnesota wants to hire Shaka Smart from VCU. That would be a great hire if they can do it. Now, Shaka Smart said he loves Virginia Commonwealth, so we'll see if Minnesota can lure him out of there. They get Shaka Smart. That is a very good move for Minnesota. If they don't, it's a very questionable firing because Tubby Smith can coach. I do like Tubby Smith, so I was a little surprised about that. Also, some other news and notes from yesterday. Tiger Woods does win the Arnold Palmer. Tiger Woods is playing tremendous golf. He's ranked #1 in the world again. He is playing at a very high level. We'll see if he can do it in the major tournaments. Remember, he hasn't won a major in a while. Still chasing Jack Nicklaus for the all-time mark in majors. See if he can take his great play over to the majors. Remember, the Masters is coming up, but Tiger Woods playing really, really well lately. Also, a note from the NFL yesterday, Dumervil, who used to be on Denver, he goes to Baltimore. Remember, Denver asked Dumervil to take a pay cut. He agreed to it. Then they didn't file the paperwork on time. So then there was a complete mess. Then now he signs with Baltimore. That is a loss for Denver. Dumervil is a good player. Him and Von Miller were good pass rushers. That is a definite loss for Denver, considering how close they are to being a Super Bowl contender. And he goes to arch rival Baltimore, who won the Super Bowl, and Baltimore beat Denver last year. So you put Dumervil with Suggs. Baltimore's got a nice pass rush. So Baltimore, who lost a lot of players this offseason, gets Dumervil. And you hate to lose a player under these circumstances. I mean, the bad filing of the paperwork, bad way for Denver to lose a top player. So Dumervil goes to Baltimore. So that was kind of some of your news and notes from last night. Without further ado, let's go to our weekly NHL State of the Union. Let's start in the NHL Eastern Conference. We're going to go 15-1, you know, records, little synopsis of each team. Number 15, Florida. They are 9-18-6. They have 24 points. They are basically playing out the string. They're the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Could be the worst team in all of the NHL. They're playing out the string. They're not going to make the playoffs. Been a lost year for Florida. Too many injuries. Just a disaster. Number 14, Tampa Bay, 13-18-1. They have 27 points. They just fired their coach. Do I need to say any more? Number 13, Philadelphia, 13-16-2, 28 points. Played well in Pittsburgh. Only problem is they lost. Been a very disappointing season for the Flyers. Flyer fans are great. That is a hockey city. I mean, tremendous fan base. They deserve better than this. I thought the Flyers would be a lot better than this. Very, very disappointing this year for the Flyers. Number 12, Buffalo. They are 13-15-4. They have 30 points. They've won 3 in a row. One last stand for Buffalo. I mean, I thought they were done. They have won 3 in a row. They're only about 3 points out of a playoff spot. This could be their last stand here at Buffalo. Number 11, the Islanders. 14-15-3. 31 points. 4-game road trip coming up. At Washington, at Philly, at Pitt, at New Jersey. Let's see where the Islanders are after that tough road trip. Number 10, Washington, 15-16-1, 31 points. They're only 2 points out of a playoff spot. Everyone gave up on the Capitals. I said in the beginning of the year to stay patient. They had a new coach, new system. I even gave up on them about a week ago. I said kick dirt on them. Washington dug too big of a hole. They're done. Here they are on a nice little winning streak. They are now only 2 points out of a playoff spot. I mean, hard to believe the Capitals got up there. Now, they are getting help. No one's playing well at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Still, Washington right there now, only 2 points out of a playoff spot. Number 9, Carolina. They are 15-13-2, 32 points. They have so many injuries, Carolina. I mean, they had a winless. They didn't win a game in about 5 games. I mean, Carolina really, really struggling. If they get everyone healthy, Carolina's got a good team. They could be a surprise in the playoffs if they can get everyone healthy. So we'll keep an eye on Carolina, see if they can get some of these bodies healthy. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here are your top 8 as of right now. Number 8, the New York Rangers. They are 15-13-3. They have 33 points. They lost to Florida and Washington at home. Just when you thought the Rangers were going to put together something nice, they lose to Florida, who's the worst team in the East. Then they come back and lose to Washington in the Garden. 2 bad losses by the Rangers, same old story. Cannot put the puck in the net. Goaltending is good, coaching is good, effort is good, defense is good. Can't put the puck in the net. Rangers need a goal scorer. Maybe they make a trade. That's easier said than done. If you want a good goal scorer, you're going to have to give up something. Remember, the Rangers also miss Stahl, who's out with the eye injury. Hopefully, he'll be back in a couple weeks. Right now, the Rangers precariously sitting in the 8th spot. Number 7, New Jersey Devils, 15-11-6, 37 points. Kovalchuk out about 2 to 4 weeks. That's a loss because with him, the Devils weren't scoring. Without him, they're going to have even a tougher time scoring. Brodora back. Devils playing a little better recently after that long stretch of not winning any games. They're going to miss Kovalchuk, though. Devils have a tough time scoring, just like the Rangers. Number 6, Toronto. They are 17-12-3, 38 points. They finally beat Boston a couple nights ago. Then they came back and lost to Boston last night. Toronto, overall, though, doing a nice job. I didn't think Toronto was going to be a playoff team. They look like they will be this year. Number 5, Ottawa, 18-9-6, 42 points. They keep winning despite all their top guys being out of the lineup. Ottawa coach has to be up for Coach of the Year. I mean, the goaltending, tremendous. Both goalies, the starter and the backup, tremendous. Defense, tremendous. Effort, tremendous. Ottawa coach deserves a lot of credit. So many top guys for Ottawa out, missing a lot of time, and here Ottawa is in the 5th slot with 42 points. The coach of Ottawa deserves Coach of the Year mentions for sure. Number 4, Boston, 21-7-3, 45 points. Lost 3 of 5. They're not scoring, Boston. They're another team that's having trouble scoring. I like Boston. I think they're gritty. They're gutty. They won the cup 2 years ago. They're physical. They're nasty. They're mean. Got to put the puck in the net, though. That's the name of the game. Number 3, Winnipeg, 17-14-2, 36 points. Crushed at home twice by Washington. You didn't like that. Still, overall, Winnipeg leading their division. You can't complain too much. Great home ice advantage. The fans are tremendous up there in Winnipeg. Number 2, Montreal, 26-5, 45 points. Big week this week for Montreal. At Pitt, at Boston. That's a tough back-to-back. Number 1, Pittsburgh, 25-8-0. 50 points. They've won 12 in a row. They get Morrow in a trade. Pittsburgh is on fire. And they're doing it without a couple guys in the lineup as well. Pittsburgh flying, Crosby flying. Pittsburgh looks right now like one of the best teams in all of hockey. So that is your NHL Eastern Conference. Over to your NHL West. Number 15, Colorado Avalanche, 11-16-4, 26 points. The way they're playing, the coach could be fired. I mean, I thought when Colorado signed O'Reilly, I thought they were going to play a lot better. I mean, they have gone completely in the tank. Coach may be fired. Number 14, Calgary, 12-14-4, 28 points. Time to rebuild. Trade a Ginla. Start the rebuilding process. It's not happening for Calgary. Number 13, Edmonton, 11-12-7, 29 points. 3 wins in the last 11 games. They're going south, Edmonton. Number 12, Phoenix, 13-14-4, 30 points, 0-4-1 in their last 5. They're also starting to slide. Number 11, Columbus, 13-13-6, 32 points. Might have their goalie of the future. He's been playing well. Columbus might have their goalie of the future. Overall, Columbus has played decently recently. They're only about a couple points out of a playoff spot. Columbus right there for the playoffs. Beginning of the year, they started off atrociously. Columbus playing a little better. Number 10, Dallas, 15-13-3, 33 points. I mean, they're hanging on. They're right there for the 8th spot. I mean, Dallas, just what we thought they'd be, hanging around the 8th spot. Number 9, I should say, Nashville. They are 14-13-6. Very important week for Nashville. They have 34 points. They're another team hanging around that 8th spot. This is a very important week for Nashville. Got to put something together. Those will be your top 9 out of the playoffs, right? Those will be your teams out of the playoffs, I should say. Here are your top 8. Number 8, San Jose. They are 14-11-6. They have 34 points. Home and home with Anaheim this week. We'll see how they do on that little home and home. Number 7, St. Louis, 17-12-2, 36 points. Had a bad road trip. Their power play has been awful lately. Gotta pick up their power play, St. Louis. Number 6, LA, 17-12-2, 36 points. Big road games coming up. They beat Chicago last night on the road. That was a nice start. Number 5, Detroit, 16-11-5, 37 points. 2 huge wins at Anaheim. They beat Phoenix. Detroit starting to sizzle. Number 4, Vancouver, 17-9-6, 40 points. They've won 4 in a row. Schneider looks like he's going to be the goalie. Luongo on the bench. I don't trust Luongo anyway. He's been bad in the playoffs. You might as well just go with Schneider. So Vancouver right now is battling Minnesota for the division. Right now they're tied. Minnesota does have a leg up with the tiebreaker. Minnesota, number 3, as I just mentioned, they are 19-10-2, 40 points, getting hot. 5 in a row for Minnesota, starting to play good hockey. We know they added a lot in the offseason. I was waiting for Minnesota to start taking off. They are taking off. They're right now the number 3 seed, battling Vancouver for the division. Number 2, Anaheim, 22-6-4, 48 points. They've lost a few games here. They lost twice to Detroit. It had to happen. Anaheim was on such fire. They had to go through a little rough patch. They're going through it now. Overall, tremendous job by Anaheim. One of the surprise teams in the league. Number 1, Chicago, 24-4-3, 51 points. They lose to the Kings last night. Overall, though, Chicago, I mean, how could you say anything bad about them? 24-4-3, 51 points. Tremendous season so far for the Blackhawks. So that's kind of where you are in your NHL. Remember, only a half a year in the NHL, so not much time left. Teams got to start making their move, start to get healthy, start to get themselves positioned for the playoffs now. Got to start making your move now in the NHL. Okay, as far as Tuesday, what to watch tonight in your NBA? Knicks at Boston, very nice game. No Garnett for the Celtics. He's going to be out a couple weeks. And remember, Rondo's out for the rest of the year. Looks like Chandler will play for the Knicks tonight. Clippers at Dallas, very important game for Dallas. They're only a game behind the Lakers in the loss column. Can't afford any slip-ups. They're at home. This won't be easy, though. Clippers, very good team. NHL tonight, Rangers at Philadelphia, always a good rivalry. Montreal at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh puts their big winning streak on the line against Montreal, the top two seeds in the East. Very tasty game tonight. If you want some NHL, tune in to Montreal-Pittsburgh tonight. That is a good game. As far as your NIT tonight, if you're looking for some college basketball, Maryland at Alabama. Also tonight on the East Coast, 10:30 Eastern Time. It's a late night game on the East Coast. World Cup qualifying, United States at Mexico. Right now, United States is in second place in their group. Mexico has come off 2 ties back-to-back. A little pressure on Mexico. I think the United States is walking into a buzzsaw here. I don't give them a chance to win this game. I think Mexico wins this game 2-0. The United States never wins at Mexico in that altitude. I mean, Mexico is a very good team, play well at home. USA, of course, has a couple injuries. Goalie's out, another guy's out. Donovan, obviously, still on, his leave of absence. I mean, USA barely hung on to beat Costa Rica the other day in the snow. I think the USA is walking into a buzzsaw tonight. I would sign for a tie right now. If you said sign for a tie right now, I'd take it. I'd take the point and run. I don't see any way the USA wins this game. I don't even think they could get a tie out of this. I think Mexico dominates this game. I think Mexico wins 2-0. I'll be rooting hard for the USA. This is a tough one here. This is a tough game tonight. I think Mexico wins it, unfortunately. Okay, so that is what you have as far as what to watch tonight. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to do our NBA State of the Union. Thursday we're going to get into the college basketball again. Friday we'll recap the first day of the college basketball on Thursday. We'll also do some movies for you on Friday, tell you what's coming up over the weekend, anything else that comes up in the sports world. So you guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight. Some nice ones tonight. Hockey, Montreal, Pittsburgh. You got some soccer, USA, Mexico. You got some NBA, Knicks, Boston, Clippers, Dallas. You got some stuff tonight. You guys stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you tomorrow, Wednesday. Take care.